Okay, so here we're going to try have a little discussion about the user interface for the WheeStat Pico. And the first thing we want to talk about is connecting to the instrument. Now, when you open up the user interface, if your instrument is connected to your computer, the user interface will automatically connect. If it's not, you'll come up as no responsive port, and if you hit the button, nothing really happens here. Okay, so let's plug in our instrument, and you hear the little chime there. Now when we hit the connect button, it says connected on, and you get a serial number that contains whatever kind of characters you entered. All right, so over here we have the list of different experiments that we can run. We can run a ramp experiment, cyclic voltammogram, differential pulse, cyclic square wave, a couple of 1 and 2 step chronoamperometry experiments, and normal pulse. Okay, so let's just select ramp. And when you select something like that, you'll get a list of different options, different parameters that you can change. Okay, the parameters include the voltage limits, minus 600 to plus 600. We could change that if we want. We could say to 200. So that gives us a different voltage range. Here is our data display area. That's where our data will show up. Okay, so let's look at what happens with a ramp experiment with these parameters when we hit the run button. So down in the bottom left is the run button. Once you click on that, then you get the experiment underway. And you can see that we've gone from about minus 600 to about plus 200. All right, you'll also, what else will you do? You'll also see that there's a line over here. This is the limit bar, and this allows you to adjust the current sensitivity to get your maximum resolution for your experiment, right? This you'll see that it's down on the lower side, higher than it's up on the upper side. There's a middle bar here, and the reason that this is down and this is up is because we have more negative current than we have positive current, right? Okay, and this is a small fraction of the entire area that this can cover. It can go all the way up to about here, up to the top of the data screen. You can go down to the bottom of that data screen. So let's see what happens when we increase the gain. Let's jump that up to about 32, and we'll hit the run button again. We'll collect another piece of data. But before we do, let's change the file name. It's currently just file, and you see that the data, the voltammogram is named file 00. Now we're going to give it a different name, and we're going to use my initials, JS, and let's say the date, 2503. That being when I recorded this, and now we'll hit the go button, the run button, and you'll see that we have the data starts out low, and it's flat at the start. And the reason it's flat at the start is that we have maxed out our A to D converter on the negative side, right? This is as far down as the bar will go, and it is down to the limit. Okay, so if we had gone up to the top and we had flattened out there too, this would have gone up to the top, right? So we have our gain set too high in this example. So let's cut it down to 28, and we'll see what happens there. So we're going to hit the run button again. And we still have a little bit of flat area there, so let's let's just give a little bit less, 26, and that should be a legitimate amount. Probably could go to 27, uh, but anyway, that's how you use the gain slider, right? So this is a slider. You slide it back and forth. Uh, I think we said 28 would be the desired place. So that's 28. Okay. All right, so that is how you use the gain. Let's take a look at the next parameters. There's an initial delay that before you start an experiment, it goes to the initial voltage and it stays there for a delay of 2 seconds. You can change that number. And after that, you ramp at a scan rate of 400 millivolts per second. Right? You can change the voltage limits, you can change the delay, the scan rate, and the current sensitivity, the gain. Down here there's a button that says multi, and if you want to have multiple runs, you want to scan several times, do the same experiment repeatedly, you just enter the number of runs you want to have and the delay that you want to have between the runs. Okay, over here we have a button that says analysis, and if you hit that button before you record any data, you'll get an error message, but it's not a big problem. Oh, before we go into that, let's take a look at the zoom and the restore. Okay, we have a box down here, that's a zoom box. We have a box up here, that's the upper zoom box, and when we move those, we can define an area and hit zoom. Now we've just changed our limits that we are displaying. We can hit the restore button and we go back. All right, if we hit the analysis button, now we're going to analyze some data. All right, and the voltammogram that we're going to analyze is the one that has this blue box around it. So these are our 1, 2, 3, 4 different voltammograms that we've recorded. File 00 is the one in red. 250301 is the one in blue. And this one, the green one, is 02. The last of them is 03. All right, so you select the file that you want to analyze, and you have to select a point on your baseline. We're just going to assume that this is the baseline and that there's a peak that we are interested in. And we're going to select the peak position. This is the baseline position. This is the peak position. And now we're going to adjust this, the baseline. The baseline is represented by this dark line. You're going to adjust that by moving this slider, right? And once we have that information, we're going to say select the points, and what we have is this is the name of our file. That is the current. The current is the yellow bar that goes from the peak position. The peak position is 115 millivolts, right? 100 is here, 115 is there, and the current is 36.39 microamps. Okay. All right, so that's the analysis function. We've looked at the zoom and the restore. You know what? Let's say we want to get rid of that file. We can hit the delete button while this one is selected. We're going to hit the delete button. That one goes away. We can do hiding and showing, right? Let's say we want to not display this 102. So we're going to make that one go away. We can make it come back, right? We can also save and load files, right? So let's select the files we want to save, and we'll hit the save button. Now we have to give it a name, and let's call it JS325 data-1, and we'll hit the save button. We're going to put it in a file where we know we can find it. Hit the save button and it's there. Now we can delete those, and if we want to get them back, we can load those files, and there it is, and there we are back again. All right, so we have gone through a number of parameters that you can change on the user interface for the WheeStat Pico, and I hope this has been helpful.